Fascinating Frontiers, Episode 108, coming to you on June 21st, 2026. Here's your space and science briefing, the week's biggest developments pulled together, what actually moved, why it matters, and what to watch next. SpaceX completed a funding round that brought total capital raised to $85.7 billion. The round included a 20% increase in share value and exercise of the green shoe option. Proceeds will support ongoing vehicle development and constellation expansion. The valuation now places the company's market capitalization above $2.5 trillion. Investors are watching how the capital deploys across Starship and Starlink programs. Now we turn from private sector scale to the public telescopes revealing what that hardware will one day study. The James Webb Space Telescope captured detailed atmospheric data showing silicate clouds that condense into ruby and sapphire rain. Observations reveal temperature contrasts and wind patterns driving the unusual precipitation cycle. The planet's atmosphere contains high-altitude clouds composed of minerals that would be gems on Earth. With its unprecedented observational quality, JWST gives us the most detailed glimpses into distant planets to date. Follow-up spectra are planned to track cloud evolution over multiple orbits. Shifting now to another James Webb discovery that rewrites the early universe picture. James Webb Space Telescope spectra show one of the mysterious early universe red dots is a compact object whose X-rays are absorbed by surrounding gas. The object's true nature only appears once the dense cocoon is accounted for in the data reduction. Researchers had wondered whether these abundant bright sources challenged standard galaxy formation models. The new observations instead place them on the evolutionary track of growing supermassive black holes. Follow-up programs will target additional red dots to test how common this disguise is at high redshift. From hidden black holes, we move to another hidden messenger. An ultra-high energy neutrino has been linked to a galaxy whose jets point away from our line of sight. Researchers combined ice cube neutrino detections with radio and gamma ray observations to identify the source. The galaxy's misaligned jets still produce neutrinos through interactions in dense surrounding material. This detection adds to evidence that such shadow blaster systems contribute to the cosmic neutrino flux. Follow-up monitoring will search for additional neutrinos from the same direction. From cosmic messengers, we turn to the steady cadence of cargo flights, keeping crews in orbit. The CRS-34 capsule splashed down after undocking from the International Space Station. 4 main parachutes deployed during re-entry, and the trunk was jettisoned before landing. The mission delivered supplies and returned science samples. This flight continues the steady cadence of commercial resupply flights. Next up is preparation for the following Dragon mission later this summer. The image shows CL0016 plus 1609, also known as MAX J0018.125 plus 1626, one of the brightest X-ray clusters known. X-ray data revealed the system is 2 clusters aligned along our line of sight and in the process of merging. The observations add to extensive radio and X-ray studies of the object. Hubble's visible light view highlights the distorted galaxies within the colliding system. Follow-up papers will examine how the merger affects galaxy evolution. While resupply runs keep the station fed, NASA is preparing a new mission to study the space weather that can disrupt those very satellites. NASA has selected the Dynamic Atmosphere Ionosphere Explorer mission concept to move into Phase B development. Daphne will measure how solar activity and atmospheric dynamics couple to shape the near-Earth space environment. Data from the mission are expected to improve forecasts that protect GPS signals and satellites in low Earth orbit. Instruments will target energy transfer between the lower atmosphere and the ionosphere. The selection follows a competitive review of proposals addressing space weather impacts on technology. Researchers refined criteria for identifying potentially habitable worlds around other stars. The updated framework incorporates atmospheric retention and stellar activity levels. It reduces the list of high-priority targets for future telescopes. The work helps observers allocate limited observation time more effectively. Scientists will test the model against new James Webb data releases. From near-Earth weather, we move to the moon, where long-term infrastructure rules are now being debated. NASA's plans for sustained lunar presence require standardized construction rules to protect both hardware and future crews. A single expert has outlined how differing national standards could create incompatible landing zones and habitats. The proposal draws on terrestrial building codes but accounts for lunar dust, thermal extremes, and seismic activity from impacts. Without agreed rules, overlapping infrastructure risks could delay Artemis follow-on missions. The discussion centers on technical requirements rather than legal frameworks. From future lunar rules, we turn to an asteroid already on its way for a close 2029 encounter. A spacecraft led by Tsinghua University will rendezvous with asteroid Apophis during its 2029 Earth encounter. The mission joins planned efforts by other space agencies to study the 340-meter object at close range. Scientists aim to measure surface composition and any structural changes induced by tidal forces. The university-developed probe will carry remote sensing instruments tailored for the brief flyby window. Launch timing remains under study to meet the 2029 arrival. From one near-Earth visitor, we turn to another. The Mars Express orbiter captured dozens of dust devils across the Mamers-Valles region. These whirlwinds appear as dark streaks or bright plumes against the surface in high-resolution images. The observations help map local wind patterns and dust-lifting processes in a mid-latitude valley system. Repeated imaging passes allow scientists to track how frequently these vortices form. Future orbits will target seasonal changes in devil activity. From Mars surface processes, we turn to a simple geometry trick on Venus. Venus rotates once every 243 Earth days. A person walking westward at 6.5 kilometers per hour can match the planet's spin. The steady pace holds the sun exactly on the horizon, turning sunset into a permanent view. Planetary scientists note this works only because the atmosphere and surface move together at that latitude. Observers on Earth can picture the geometry by comparing Venus's 243-day period to our 24-hour cycle. From planetary oddities, we move to a faint cluster visible in Earth's own skies tonight. The open cluster NGC 5897 sits nearly 12 degrees south of Beta Librae. At 10:30 p.m. local daylight time, the cluster lies highest in the southern sky for mid-northern observers. Its loose structure and faint stars give it a ghostly appearance in small telescopes. No special equipment beyond binoculars is required under dark skies. The object remains observable through the rest of June. From backyard viewing, we turn to the week's fresh launch activity. Multiple Falcon 9 missions from Vandenberg confirmed 24 satellite Starlink deployments. The launches add to the ongoing constellation expansion cadence. A Starlink Group 17 to 28 launch occurred from Vandenberg at 1639 UTC. Deployment of 24 Starlink satellites was confirmed across the missions. Jackal satellite launch details formed part of the same activity. Keep an eye on the next Dragon mission scheduled for later this summer as preparation continues. That covers today's space and science news. Share this with a fellow space enthusiast if you found it interesting. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. See you tomorrow. And if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at NARA Network. Links in the show notes. And before you go, this show is part of the NARA Network, a family of daily podcasts covering tech, science, markets, and more. If you enjoyed today's episode, give SpaceX Daily a listen, the daily companion for following SpaceX as a public company, from Starship to the stock ticker. You can explore the whole lineup at neuronetwork.com. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.
Drifting softly through